so far away. Now, the only thing that's different is the weight on the bar.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies here in this event, which will be a good test for some of these young athletes to see how they are able to formulate a successful strategy and attack this interval style event.
Lane assignments presented by CBD-MD. Jessie Harper in lane number 5. She had a decent Heat 1 finish last night in the thruster run 3.0.
Yeah, she kind of climbed back from the middle of the pack to have arguably the best finish of any one of these athletes in this heat. She was 14th at thruster run 3.0. She's only 3 points back of breaking into the top 20, moving into that next heat. So she's trying to maybe build some momentum here. Another strong finish could see her out of heat 1 after this day of competition.
Heat number 1 of the individual women underway. Let's start with 9 ring muscle-ups. Follow that up with 9 hang planes. The weight on the bar is 125, and then 9 lateral burpees over the bar before they get to the real crux of the event. And that's that torque sled sitting on the field. We'll have to push it 50 yards down, pull up 50 yards back, and have one more sprint across the floor. We saw a lot of different strategies on the men's side. Might have to have a few different ones here for the women's side because, like I said before, the only change in this event for the women is the weight on the barbell. It's the same sled and it's the same weight and the same resistance for these women.
And although this is slightly different than a traditional sled in terms of being able to lean your body weight into it and build some momentum, it still helps to have a little bit extra body weight behind that sled driving it forward. So I don't know if we'll be able to see some of these athletes finishing 3 rounds the way that we saw the men just by virtue of that and the sled portion taking so much time, especially when you're pulling back.
8 of the 10 athletes done with their hang cleans, moving into the 9 lateral burpees over the bar. The time they get to work in is 2 minutes. As we're approaching the 90-second mark, it'll be lane number 8, Shelby Neal. At a 12-state cross, it will be first to the torque tank. Now, I said the rules earlier that the hands must be on that middle portion. We have about a 4-athlete race. We have lanes 4 and 5. Amy Horton and Jessie Harper.
10.
As well as Samantha Scorzelli in lane number 1. In the front part of your screen. Everyone's really pulling away.
30.
As we have 2 seconds to go. And it's lane 8. Shelby Neal, who just got past the halfway mark in the first portion of this interval event.
You can already see the effect that this sled is having on the female athletes relative to the men. Just the difference that even a slightly heavier body weight for the men can have.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, got it.
Well into the second half of this 50-yard section. A few athletes get close into that 4th quadrant. And there's only one female athlete that's completely past that halfway mark after this first interval.
Under lane 8, that'll be Shelby Neal. She's in a near virtual tie between lane 1, lane 4, and lane 5. Samantha Scorzelli, Amy Morgan, and Jessie Harper. So we have 10 seconds in that 60-second break as we move to interval number 2. The reps will decrease. We'll move from 9 reps down to 7.
7.
As we move into interval 2, here for the first event of day number 2 for these individual women. They had 2 events last night, a max snatch and then a running posture event to follow that. So you start to get into that high-skill gymnastics interval work. As we said before, this sled is going to be a different beast for these athletes relative to the men.
12.
Off the rings first, picking up where she left off, Shelby Neal at a 12-state CrossFit in lane number 8. Sitting 26th overall after the first 2 events. Bottom part of your screen in lane 1 in the black and white is Samantha Scorzelli. She is about in that second place tie position between lane 4 and 5 and Amy Morgan and Jessie Harper. 7 hang cleans at 125, and we talked about this, the round of 7, depending on how hard you push the sled, it's either going to beat you down or that's when you make your move.
Yeah, especially the volume of the muscle-ups coming off of that first sled. You're starting to feel the ripple a little bit, especially for the hang cleans. At this point, you've had maybe 1 minute of real actual rest coming into this round of 7.
Side by side, Emmy Morton and Shelby Neal are back to the sled with 30 seconds left. Now, what's important is if they want a chance to finish this in its entirety, they have to get right at or beyond this halfway point, because the sled pull back is a much tougher task than to push forward.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, the reps do go down. They will have a little bit of extra time tacked onto that final interval when they're going to get 3 minutes for the round of 3, but still. We saw even with the men, this took probably almost twice as long as the push side of it.
Shelby Neal, Amy Morton get past the halfway mark. So on this next interval, they'll be pulling the sled back as we take a short break before we hit that 3rd interval. I want to say a big thanks to our friends over at WIT for the best selection of CrossFit essentials from all of your favorite brands. Head to wit-fitness.com/CrossFit to shop WIT's Definitive Training Collection. Plus, be sure to check out WIT's preferred pricing for CrossFit affiliate owners and coaches. Amy Morton, Shelby Neal.
Chase, I think it's easy to overlook this buy-in portion, just because it made it look so relatively easy. But some of these athletes have yet to get their sled out of the first quadrant on the push side of things. It just highlights actually how difficult this is. Remember, a lot of these athletes have probably the best in their gym, and they probably go most of the year without losing a workout to anyone. And even they're struggling here. These are very talented athletes.
One of the things too is like high volume things, bring muscles depending on your ability between the men and the women, or it can be a little bit more difficult. And they weren't tested with the rings in the quarterfinals. So you're going to have some athletes who got a little safety blanket when it came to the programming coming in that we may see getting exposed here in the competition for.
Well, the real pulling motions that we got tested on in particular were early on in the open and in the final week. We got bar muscle-ups. One of the components that's much different about the bar muscle-ups is the upper body push component. You use so much less of your chest and your triceps to push out of that deep portion. Really isn't that important in
20
muscle, but it's such a heavy factor here. 30 muscle-up.
You have a change. Same athletes, different order. It's Amy Morton with the white and black first to her
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So start pulling those 50 yards past the competition field. Shelby Neal above her in the black. Just behind her, you're pulling to the 8-minute mark. Just outside your screen in lane number 2, Samantha Petrick across the halfway mark. Along with 2 other athletes. So Jessica Fabian, April Payne, trying to hit that turnaround. And Neal has now pulled back ahead of Amy Morton. So Morton got to the sled first. But Neal has made up ground on Morton. As we are approaching the 4th and final interval.
And Chase, we actually had some athletes in this one not complete the buy-in portion of this event. Now, based on the rules for this particular event, if you do not finish the buy-in at any one of these intervals, will automatically be capped, effectively ending your event early. So it looks like 4 or 5 athletes so far weren't able to complete that buy-in, at least in this interval.
20 seconds to go before we hit that final interval. We've had 3 2-minute intervals, but on the 4th and final one, they're going to give an additional minute. That's lane 1. Samantha Squirzelli on Stay Strong CrossFit. in that first interval, she was up in that 4-week tie with Amy Morton and Shelby Neal. But now it's just a 2-horse race between Morton and Neal. As we move to 3 ring muscle-ups, 3 hang squat cleans, and 3 lateral burpees over the bar. Lane 3 in the pink and gray, that's actually Katie Kane. She made a small move at the end of the last interval. She's sitting in 3rd, but like the last one, Amy Morton to the sled first as she pulls even and past Neal. Neal onto the sled. And we saw Neal pull past her at the end, so Neal looks like she has a bit of an advantage when it comes to the sled, but they're running out of room as Morton makes a move. Neal trying to close it out. She'll have to cross the line and then sprint 50 yards across the field. And just past the 10-minute mark, Amy Morton will set the time to beat at actually 10:13. Neal just behind her at 10:17.
Very similar to some of the heats in the men.
5-4.
We tend to overlook the buy-in portion, but Amy Morton
15.
took a little bit of a chance and blitzed that buy-in portion a little bit faster than Shelby Neal. Despite Shelby having a lead on the sled, Amy was able to chew into that just by being better on the buy-in portion.
Samantha Patriots had a quick little CrossFit.
3.
She'll get inside that 12-minute cap at 10:48. Again, they have an additional minute. So Samantha, who was also tied for 26 with Shelby Neal.
7. 8. 9.
Lane number 7, April Payne.
10.
She'll cross the finish line with just under a minute left to go.
12. 11.
Lane 5, Jesse Harper at CrossFit Rock, who was one of the early in that top 4 in that first interval. Found herself outside the top 4
Last round.
towards the end.
100 meters.
But at the very least, she beat a decent chunk of this heat. Because remember, there are a handful of athletes that got capped because they were unable to finish the buy-in portion. So, although she may not have been one of the first 2 athletes to finish, she finished in the top half of this heat.
Jessica Kalagi, an unaffiliated, is trying to get her last 10 yards. She has 5 seconds to go to get there. And comes just short. And so heat number 1 is going to go to Amy Morton out of Ocean State CrossFit.
Something must be in the water from Ocean State. Dave Marconi also out of Ocean State. Did quite well in this event, obviously.
I was going to make a Sonic reference, but I decided not to. Amy Morton is going back and forth with Shelby Neal his
5,
entire
4, 3, 2,
event.
1.
His first heat of Lemon
9.
ends up with the win.
9, you're done.
Early on, you can see Morton on the left side of your screen there. The white sports bra, pushing the pace in the muscle-ups. Shelby Neal was your leader coming out of the first interval.
7.
21 years
6.
young. Neal set the pace early
5.
on, but slowly, Amy Morton started to catch her, being a little bit faster on these buy-in intervals. Even though Shelby had a lead coming off the second to last interval.
14:03.